Hello everyone, SirMonkeySuit here back again with Hunter x Hunter 1, episode 137, and in the last episode we had some nice reunions in regards to the little girl who was like one of the first people to, you know, succumb to the Chimera ants. It turns out that she was that that little cute bug, and you know, she reunited with her mother and all of that, and Bravada is now living like among that sort of village, which is great for them. We had Welfin, Hina, and Bezef, who are all heading off to Meteor City. I don't think we'll really, you know, like get caught back up with them at all. At least not until they continue on with the anime or anything like that. So, but like even then, I just feel like it was a, you know, like the cut off from, you know, like the way they were sent out. I feel like it's just one of those things that, you know, they're kind of off doing their own thing now, and there's no real need to come back up with them anyway. So even if the anime does continue, I don't think we'll be catching up with them. Other than that, we have the new Reina, who was, you know, who called the sort of baby Chimera ant that he was bringing up. Turns out that she actually has Kite within her, so that's going to be interesting. However that shapes up. Gon is on life support at the moment, and Killua said that he's going to end up, like, he's going to bring him back. He's going to save him from this, from life support. I don't know how he's going to do that, because aside from his like electric, like, you know, he's like lightning powers, I don't know how that's going to bring him back. I mean, but we'll see. And then there is a new chairman election vote thing going on, which Jean is turned up for. So that's interesting. And yeah, I don't think there's anything else to really talk about. So we're just going to get straight into episode 137 and see what we get. So without further ado, let's go. Okay, episode 137, right, very, very interesting. Like, it's just so different from the Chimera Ant arc and everything that it just seems like it just seems so different, like, and so new. So I'm definitely intrigued, especially with like all of these new characters that we've just gotten introduced to with the Zodiac 12. I think it's quite clear who the main players are within that group, and whereas the other ones may be a bit more, I don't know, like possibly like side characters involved in the whole thing, but I don't know, who knows. But just judging off like this episode and whatnot, like I can see like who are the major players in that one. You know, obviously Jean being up there as one of them, but also like Pariston, Cheadle I think is up there, and I would think that's pretty much it. Maybe Mizai Storm, because he seemed to have a lot to say, but I don't know, who knows. So yeah, the 12 hunters that were chosen essentially by Netero, and they all take a different Chinese zodiac sort of symbol or animal, and then they base their whole thing off of that because of their adoration for Netero, which I found really interesting. The thing I find most interesting as well is that everyone is clearly what they are in a zodiac thing, but Pariston isn't, which I wonder if it's a more like personality wise thing for him. I mean, with him, because let's be honest, like considering how the other Zodiacs feel about him and just the vibe that he gives off, I think Rat suits him pretty well. You know, and yeah, it's interesting like that they don't really get along either, any of these people. Like there are clear like sort of indicators of who they like, you know, I guess the least out of the lot of them, because they don't really, it seems like they prop up Jean and Pariston as like, you know, like the worst of the group kind of thing, you know, like they can't be trusted or whatever. I feel like with Jean though, I don't think it's that he can't be trusted, more so than the fact that, you know, he's just like Gon, like very similar in that regard. So they'll like say like he just goes off and does whatever he wants, you know. So maybe that's what that is, and the reason why they don't really like Jean that much. So yeah, right. So Parston's very sneaky. He's the vice chairman. I don't know. I assume Netero chose the vice chairman. I don't know if that is true or not. Like, I don't know. Obviously, they're doing this election thing for the chairman, but I don't know if the election thing is in regards to the vice chairman, or if it is somebody that the president like picks. Because you know, it's interesting that, judging by this one episode, what Parston actually is, it would be interesting to know why Netero would have chosen him and the reasons why. I obviously don't think we'll get that, but it's interesting though. So yeah, the whole election thing. I love the fact that Gene came in like a few days beforehand, knowing exactly how it would go, and then he would fold his paper up in a certain way so that Beans was like in on it to pick out that certain one. And it seems interesting that Beans is behind Gene in this regard, because it seems like you can trust him with, you know, Netero's vision of what he had, I suppose. So that's definitely an interesting, I guess, relationship thing that they have between each other. And whatever Beans knows about Gene, you know, I don't know. But Gene said that, you know, the reason why he's wanting to do it is strictly for entertainment value, which I think is very sort of simple, like in terms of hunters anyway, because it's like, you know, if I can get them to move the way that I want to, you know, it's like simple sort of like hunter speak kind of, you know. And you can see like that with Gon, because Gon was like inspired to become a hunter through knowing this of his father, and that like he wanted to know you want to understand the reasons why being a hunter is so cool. And I guess he gets that like infectious sort of nature the same way that Gene does. So, you know, I can see definitely that coming through here. So yeah, then we had the vote, which was it was great to see like all of the previous characters that we gotten to see. Didn't see Leorio or Kurapika though. Now Basho was there. I'm sure he went to Meteor City with Kurapika and stuff, right? So it's interesting that Kurapika didn't show up, or even Leorio. But yeah, we had so many characters there. It was great to see those guys. Hisoka ended up going there as well, even though he just had a blank piece of paper. He wasn't there to, you know, to vote. He was just there to sort of assess people's, I guess, power level. So like, you know, who his target was going to be next. And it seems like the Zodiacs are finding he's, you know, if he can, he'll want to go up against them. And then Illumi showed up as well, which was definitely interesting. I did find it interesting that Hisoka actually asked for Gene by name. I can't remember if Gon has ever been around. Has Gon mentioned Gene around Hisoka before? I don't know. I think he has, right? Because we had the whole volleyball thing in Greed Island, or dodgeball, which was clearly like, well, you know, the guy that they were facing off against in the dodgeball match was obviously connected with his father. So there had to be, yeah, there had to be a reason, right? That'll be why Gene's so interested. I'd be interested to see their sort of power levels as well. I don't know if it's out of 100 that he would, you know, that he is like, you know, like sensing about them. I don't know if it's like out of 100 thing, or they can go past that. Be interesting though. I guess that's like a thing that I can sort of assume, like the different characters as well, like based upon like how good they are or whatever, is, you know, Hisoka's general observations about them in terms of their power level, which would definitely be interesting. But also like the votes as well, when they did actually come in, and it obviously showed a list of who was voted for. That's obviously another good indicator of like how people feel about certain people. So the likes of Gene isn't actually that popular, and Pariston is just, you know, he's clearly got a hell of a lot more votes. It seems that people, I guess, are just voting because he's the vice chairman, and they don't really care anyway. I mean, they went there to vote, but they were just like, ah, screw it, who's the vice chairman? Pariston, so he gets it. But it's interesting. The second in the voting was Cheel, so that's definitely interesting. And also, there was a guy called Ikshomp, or Ikshon Pei. It was third. And I don't believe we've met anybody with that name yet, so that one's an interesting one. And then further down, we actually got votes for, because obviously everyone was a candidate that was in the Hunter Association. So you had the likes of Hisoka got votes. He actually got more votes than like Gon and whatnot, which is interesting. And even Kite got votes, which also surprised me. Like, what? I guess they just assumed that he's still around because they haven't seen him yet. But it'd be interesting to know who actually voted for Kite. And the fact that Jean wrote down a rule specifically that people who voted have to put their name down, it makes me wonder if we will get that, you know, if we will get like who voted for who, and get that information, because I am actually interested. So yeah, so the Zodiac 12. So we've got Paraston, Jean, Mizai Storm, Kanzai, Pion, Bodabai, Gel, Sacho, Ginda, Sayu, Cluck, and Cheel. That's what 12. And they have to do another vote, and it has to be redone because they only got what, 87% or something, where they need to get 95. It was interesting because Beans, I'm sure, like quoted himself like midway through. Beans was quoted saying like nobody got a vast majority, and it's like I'm sure Parastan did. He got way more. He got like 200 and something odd votes, whereas the next one down was like 45 or something. So I mean, there was definitely a majority there. Again, I just think it's got to be to do with the fact that he's the vice chairman, so people just automatically put that down. You know, but yeah, definitely interesting anyway, regardless. Yeah, so we've got the number of hunters in the association, which is 661, which for some reason in my head, I've always thought that there was a hell of a lot more than that, but I guess, I don't know, I guess not. Interesting though. So yeah, there's also Morel actually got a lot of votes as well, which is interesting. So people must, you know, claim like, you know, actually like him a hell of a lot. He must have some sort of like sway. People must look up to him and respect him a bit. And then at the very end, we had Hisoka and Illumi talking up on the rooftop. It's interesting that Hisoka didn't have any idea what was going on with the ants and everything like that, and the fact that he missed out, like, it was such a good opportunity for him, man. He would have loved it. But yeah, when I found it really cool when he got news of like Gun's status right now, that he's like on life support and stuff, and that like immediately when he heard that, like he, like, you know, he wasn't playing around anymore. He got serious because obviously, you know, he wants to fight him for himself. But the interesting thing was that Illumi claimed that both of them will die. So I don't know why Killua. I don't know like where he's getting that from, but there seems to be something with this other younger brother, so another Zoldyck family member. Now, if you recall, like way back, there was like a sort of like a splash screen, like sort of like image thing of the whole Zoldyck family. They were all like blacked out, and I recall there was like there was somebody that was holding the hand of Killua, and I remember like saying, because it seemed like Killua was kind of like a loner out of the family, but there was this one kid that he was holding the hand of, and I wonder if like that was somebody that Killua actually loved, or like he had like a connection more than the rest of his family. And obviously I've seen in the opening now that, you know, it's clear that Killua is looking after this brother or whatever, which Illumi wants to kill for some reason. I don't know, I have no idea why. But yeah, I mean, I feel like we're going to get a thing where if Killua does find out, he's going to have to protect him with his life, kind of thing. So yeah, we'll see what happens with that. But yeah, interesting, like completely a different tone, like, and feeling to the last arc at the start of this. It's almost like a different show. So very interesting. And yeah, I can't wait to get into more. So thank you everyone for watching. In the description below, I've linked certain things. One of them is the Discord, so you can get yourself over there if you wish. And I also have a Patreon page as well. So if you do want to support me, that'd be very much appreciated. There is a bunch of different tiers and rewards there, depending on how much you want to support me with. So there's the early access tier for $5 a month. That gives you access to shows a week early, and you get, well, 4 episodes of Hunter x Hunter every week, even though I'll be finished by this point when this comes out on YouTube. So you can go over, become an early access tier patron, get access to the rest of these episodes, the last however many, 10 episodes or whatever. You can go and just watch them, binge watch them if you wish, or you can just wait for them to come out like every week on YouTube for the general public. But yeah, there's also $10 for full length. That doesn't matter for this show, but for other shows you will need that. And then there are tiers where you can pay to have a certain show react to. So if you want me to react to a show, go have a look at those tiers and see what they offer. But that was all I got. So thank you for watching. I'll see you all next time. Bye bye.